On Monday, I hit the grand old age of 38. And every year, I create a list of things. These things are quotes, these things are thoughts, these things are feelings that I reflect on from the previous year that have helped me keep my sanity and stay healthy, happy, fit, and strong. So I've got 38, of course, to go through. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through them, talk a little bit about each one before going on to the next one. Number 1, discipline is a muscle that needs to be exercised daily. Find something that's good for you to do that you don't want to do and do it every damn day. This comes back to something that I say all the time. Motivation is doing things when you feel like doing it, and discipline is doing things regardless of how you feel. Motivation is getting the feeling of doing things before you do it, and discipline is getting that feeling after. And a lot of the times when you are getting the feeling after, you don't initially want to do that thing. So do hard things, because it adds to what I say. Hard things, easy life. Easy things, hard life. Number 2, nothing humbles the ego and calms the mind better than practicing Jiu Jitsu. I recently took up Jiu Jitsu and I found it incredible. Firstly, learning something new at 37, now 38 years of age. Secondly, being humbled by grappling with 22-year-olds who are absolutely destroying me, choking me out, tapping me out. It's a very humbling thing, especially when I've been lifting weights for 25 years and consider myself pretty strong and pretty good at physical things. It's a different ball game, jiu-jitsu. Okay, it's got nothing to do with strength. It does help to a certain extent, but it's a lot about technical ability. And I'm learning so much. And with regards to calming the mind, when you do go to a jiu-jitsu class, normally an hour and a half, you're not on your mobile phone at all. You are sitting down, rolling around, and focused on the task in hand. To get off your mobile phone is great. And what a workout. I don't think I've sweat so much in an hour and a half. It is an incredible workout, and you walk out of that place feeling a little bit sore, shall we say, but incredibly de-stressed. A lot of the times when I was feeling stressed, I didn't want to go, but I went anyway. So that adds to number 1 about discipline and getting the feeling after doing something, not before. Number 3, the sober life is not for me. Life is better with wine and beer. Moderation is key. August 2020, I had 4 months off the beer. It was a lot easier because we were in lockdown, but I just find that I prefer having a beer. I love a glass of wine, and I don't want to remove something that brings me joy out of my life. Too much of that thing is detrimental. Drinking too much, not good. Moderation is definitely the key, and I love nothing more than to share a bottle of wine with my wife, have an ice cold beer on a Friday in a beer garden with my friends. There's nothing better. That might change in my 39 things at 39 and 40 things at 40. But for this year, it's not. Number 4, it's incredible what daily cold plunges will do for the body and mind. It adds to that discipline. So many people, when they look at my cold plunges and sea dips, they're like, what's the benefit? Something that I've always said is there's 2 kinds of people. There are those that want to know the benefit before doing something, and those who do something to see the benefit. And the cold is both psychologically great because it trains your discipline muscle, and physiologically great too, because when you get out of that cold plunge, you feel incredible. When you get out of cold water, you feel awesome. And when you do it consistently, it calms the mind. So get some cold in your life, and understand that it's hard to do, but it goes back to what I said: hard things, easy life. Easy things, hard life. Number 5, mindfulness is bodybuilding for the brain. It will help you to have thoughts and allow them to pass without judgment. A lot of people put their body through sets and reps in the gym and develop a strong body. A lot of people struggle to do those sets and reps on their mind. And one of the things that you want to learn to do is to learn to control your mind and reduce down anxiety, overwhelm, and overthinking. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is by being able to allow those thoughts to pass without judgment. Because it's when we sit on thoughts and mull over them and think too deeply about them that we start to get anxiety, that we start to get overwhelmed, and we start to overthink. And a lot of mindfulness is just bringing things back to the breath. When you're overthinking, just breathe. Nice deep breath in, 3 to 5 second hold, and breathing out. Number 6, Escapism is good for the head in small doses. For some people, it's Netflix. For me, it's virtual table tennis. One of my favorite things to do most days is finish work, whack on the old Meta Quest VR headset and play a bit of table tennis. One of the mistakes that a lot of people make when it comes to escapism is they avoid reality for long periods of time. So they won't just watch an hour of Netflix, they'll watch an entire day. And the danger's definitely in the dosage. A little bit of escapism with a book, with a walk, with a TV program, or like me, with a virtual headset, can be really, really good for your physical and mental health. Number 7, the older I get, the less shiny things I want. I thought about this a lot because I was having a lot of people say to me, what do you want for your birthday? And I didn't want any stuff. I didn't want anything. All I wanted was people's time. And whenever my wife asked me, what do I want for my birthday? A lot of it is just buy things that enable us to go away for a night or a day and do some fun things together. Number 8, leave people better than when you found them. This has been very much my motto for the last couple of years, and very much this keeps me aligned with what I do on social media. It's very easy to argue with people online. It's very easy to disagree with others. It's very easy to create content that triggers people. My focus before posting something, my focus before doing something for the last 2 years is, will this post, this video, this piece of content leave someone feeling better than when they read or listened or watched this thing? And if the answer is no, then it shouldn't go out. Number 9, life is easier to play when you stretch every day. As I started getting into my 30s, I realized the importance of stretching. As a person who's been lifting weights since the age of 13 and has probably skipped numerous years of warm-ups and cool-downs and had numerous niggles, shoulder problems and chest pings, all because I didn't warm up. And it comes back to this Abraham Lincoln quote: if he had 6 hours to chop down a tree, he would spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Allocating time towards stretching means that you'll be able to spend more time doing things because you'll spend less time injured. Number 10, overwhelm is caused by having too many thoughts in your head. Daily brain dumps will help with this. Whenever you get overwhelmed, whenever you're overthinking things, you need to get it out of your head and onto a piece of paper, or as I like to do, a whiteboard, because brain dumping things down will help reduce a lot of that overwhelm, and it will also help you figure things out better. So make sure that you're having daily, weekly brain dumps. Number 11 is by James Clear, and he says the heaviest weight in the gym is the front door. The hardest thing about the gym is not the weights in the gym, it's actually getting to the gym and being consistent. The hardest thing is to get started. It's that procrastination that we have. We'll start Monday, so just start, just get through that door. Number 12, real strength is sharing your feelings with others. 2015, 2016, I would never share my feelings with others. I kind of looked at people who were struggling, had anxiety and overwhelm and all of this stuff. I looked at it as a bit of a weakness. I was like, don't share that stuff with people. That's stuff that you keep to yourself. And then guess what happens? I started to get more anxiety. I started to get more stressed. I started to get more overwhelmed. And I actually had a meltdown in 2016, all because I kept so many things to myself. Real strength is going to people and saying, I'm struggling. And there's nothing weak about that. That shows real strength. Number 13, it's easy to talk to people and make new friends when you ask them questions about themselves and genuinely want to hear the answers. And that's the most important thing. A lot of people have social anxiety about speaking to strangers. And it's understanding this. Everybody is nice, but you've got to go first. And it's very easy to spark a conversation with somebody if you ask them questions and genuinely want to hear the answers. So asking them about themselves, asking them about what they've been up to, and trying to find some hints on the things that they enjoy talking about, and then allowing them just to talk about the stuff that they love. Number 14 is a quote from a great book that I've read for many years, and it's The Shrink and the Sage. We should submit ourselves to a higher standard than we can ever achieve, because the minute we become satisfied, we are lost. There's a big difference between satisfaction and fulfillment. I'm a very fulfilled person. I wake up most days and think, I've got everything that I want and everything else is a bonus. But that doesn't mean I stop doing the things that I do. Stop striving for more. It's not more material items. It's understanding that if I'm not putting myself out there, if I'm not learning new things, if I'm not doing difficult things that I'm struggling with, I'm not improving, I'm not getting better. So when you become satisfied, that's when sometimes you get bored, sometimes you start going backwards. So it's constantly striving for things. And that's what us as human beings are looking for. We're constantly looking for mountains to climb. We're constantly looking to level up things because that's what motivates us. That's what inspires us. Number 15, if you want your life to change, don't watch from the sidelines, participate. Examples that I use of this is, as I said, I've recently started Jiu Jitsu. And if you sat down on the sidelines and watched Jiu Jitsu, you're just going to see people rolling with each other. You're not really going to understand it, and it's going to look a little bit strange. But when you get involved and participate, you realize how much technical ability you need for it, how incredible it is. It's like human chess, and there's so many benefits that you get from it. Facebook groups. If you're a lurker in a Facebook group and you never participate, you never talk to people in there, you never post in there, you're not getting the benefit of a Facebook group. You're not getting the benefit of being vulnerable to others and sharing your struggles and then supporting each other to overcome that. And the people who participate are the people who get the results. Number 16, write a list of all the things you look for in a partner and make sure you embody them yourself. And this is from a new friend of mine, Sahil Bloom, that I recently had on this podcast. It's important to understand this. A lot of people are looking for the perfect partner. A lot of people are looking for somebody who looks after themselves, someone who's got decent income, someone who has the right values and beliefs and interests in their life. And if you're struggling to find that person, you need to ask yourself, are you embodying them yourself? If you're looking for a partner that's fit and looks after themselves, are you fit? It will be easier to find somebody like that if you are that yourself. Make sure that you are aligned with the person that you're looking for. Number 17, if you're consumed by what others may think of you, rest assured they are likely doing the same about themselves. Consequently, no one is actually spending their time pondering about you. We speak about this with social anxiety. A lot of the reason that we don't do certain things in our lives is because we think others are judging us. And just by that mind frame and mindset, what you have to understand is people are thinking exactly the same. If you're walking into a room thinking everyone is staring at you, rest assured that everyone in that room is staring at you thinking that you're thinking about them. And actually, we then understand that nobody's thinking about us, because everybody is thinking about themselves. Number 18, don't listen to what people say, watch what they do. Actions and results are more powerful than words. People get offended by what people say. If somebody has a criticism about a way that you live your life, and there's this quote of saying, don't take criticism from somebody that you wouldn't take advice from. If somebody is overweight and talking to you and telling you what you shouldn't do with your diet and training, you really shouldn't really care, because their actions and results speak volumes. They're not talking to you from a place of advice. They're talking to you from a place of insecurity. Number 19. The brain is for thinking, not for remembering. Write shit down. If you have lots of different thoughts, you have ideas come to your head, the worst thing that you could do is not write that down. If we understand the brain has 5,000 to 6,000 thoughts, and 2 or 3 of those could change our lives and we haven't written them down, that's why you should write things down. The reason that I put everything in my calendar is because if it's not in the calendar, it doesn't get done. Because what I want to be doing with my brain is I want to be thinking, not remembering. Number 20, all your excuses for not doing something are entirely valid. However, allowing them to stop you from doing things will not improve your life. This is so important to understand. There will be things that you have in your life which makes doing things a lot more difficult for you than other people. You might have kids, you might have 3 or 4 kids, which means you can't spend hours learning new things and doing things. The game is harder to play. You might have an illness or an injury that prevents you from doing certain things. But if you allow those excuses to stop you doing the things, you're never going to do the things. And something that I say all the time is life is like a game of poker. Sometimes you get dealt a shit hand, but just because you do doesn't mean that you can't win the game, because it's all about strategy. Yes, you don't have the luxury of time or athletic prowess that somebody else has, but it doesn't mean you can't achieve things. So if you allow those excuses to be valid, and don't get me wrong, they are valid, then you allow them to stop you doing the thing, you'll never have the things that you want in life. Number 21. No one ever won an argument with a stranger on the internet. We do like to disagree with people on the internet. We do like to argue with people on the internet. And I guarantee you, at some point in your life, you've spent at least half an hour trying to get one up on somebody on the internet. How did you get on with that? Successful? No. Imagine the compound effect of arguing with strangers on the internet, and think how much time you've wasted when that time could have been better spent doing something productive, spending time with people that you care about, and doing things you love. Number 22, blaming others for the problems in your life takes your power away from solving them yourself. It feels great blaming somebody else, but it doesn't help you solve that problem. Oh, it's the government's fault because I haven't got this. You're probably right. But the amount of energy that people spend getting angry and arguing and disagreeing instead of actually doing the fucking work that's going to get you out of that situation, it boggles my mind. Blame won't get you out of the situation that you're in, even if the blame is valid. Number 23, I still have no clue what I'm doing with my life and I'm winging it every day. Newsflash, so is everyone else. I was on a podcast recently and they said, what's the next thing for you, Jay? What's the next 5 years looking like? And I said to them, I haven't got a fucking clue. I honestly haven't. If you asked me 5 years ago, I would have told you this. And this is exactly what I had planned. I said, I want to be financially free by 40. So I kind of want to retire at 40, take a year off, and then plan what I want to do the rest of my life. You know, I'm 38, so I've got 2 more years for that to happen. And the likeliness of that happening now is not a reality because I don't want it to be. I don't want to retire. I still haven't figured out what I want to do in my life. And I'm perfectly okay with that. So many people that I speak to in their 20s, they're anxious and they're worried that they haven't got life figured out by the time they're 25. And then when you get to 25, you're like, oh, I need to have it all figured out by the time I'm 30. And then you get to 35 and you're like, oh, by the time I get to 40. And then you get to 40 and you realize, look, you don't need to have it all figured out. Enjoy it, wing it. Life is short, but life can also be very, very long. You know, when I hit 40, and if we're thinking that I want to live till I'm 85, I'm less than halfway through. I've got plenty of time. Enjoy, wing it. Opportunities will come, and I'll embrace them when they happen. Number 24, seek discomfort every day, and your life will become more comfortable. It comes back to this hard things, easy life, easy things, hard life. Choose the easy route, and guess what? Life becomes more difficult. Choose the comfortable route, and life becomes more uncomfortable. Actively select the discomfort every day, and guess what? You can deal with a lot more things because you're used to seeking discomfort. Number 25, daily breath work calms the mind, so make sure you do it often. When I talk about breath work, and I recently, I'd say in the last 8 months, started doing more breath work. And it's mad because when you think about it, we breathe every day, but then I'm talking about breath work. And you're like, well, why would I do something that I do every day? Because you don't do it very well. Breath work calms the mind. If you've got anxiety, if you've got overwhelm, imagine a static TV. That's your mind when you have anxiety and overwhelm. And what breath work does is it turns the volume down on that. Okay, so it goes and it quietens the mind. When you focus on the breath, it quietens the mind. And a great quote that Naval Ravikant said is that people don't want peace of mind, they want peace from mind. Breathwork allows you peace from mind. It's a mindfulness practice that is so easy to do. There's many different ways of doing it, but just 5 seconds in, 5 second hold, 5 second out, 5 second hold for 5 to 8 rounds. You will feel better afterwards. You will notice that your heart rate has probably gone down 20 beats per minute. Because when you do have overwhelm, anxiety, your heart rate goes through the roof. So it calms the mind. Number 26, you're the average of the last 5 people you had a WhatsApp conversation with. I want you to open up your phone right now and look at the last 5 people that you had a conversation with. And what were those conversations? Were those conversations positive? Were those conversations toxic? And if you're wondering why you're not where you want to be in life, it's probably because you are spending your time talking to the wrong people. However, if those 5 conversations are your family, your friends, your loved ones, the people that are sending you love, the people that are sending you messages, the people that are helping you level up in life, then you're on the right path. Number 27, the best investment you can make is in your own personal development. When you focus on yourself, it not only benefits you, it benefits everybody else around you. When you learn how to deal with your feelings, when you figure things out, both from kind of a physical point of view, from a mental point of view, from a financial point of view, life becomes much better. But the only person that can do that is you. Number 28, you'll never fix a feeling with a lot of thinking. And we all do this. Oh, I've got anxiety. Okay, I'm going to think more about stuff. Oh, why is my anxiety increasing? Because I'm overthinking things. Oh, I've got overwhelm. Oh, let's figure out how we're going to do this. Hang on a minute. I've got more overwhelm now. You'll never fix a feeling with a lot of thinking. You need to take action. Anxiety, breath work, getting outside, going for a walk, clearing the mind instead of using the mind to solve the problems that you're causing with your mind. Number 29, never take things personally. Most of the negative things that people say and do have everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. This has been a massive game changer in my life when I've had people put hateful comments on the internet, when people have been short with me or angry in life. I allow myself to not get worked up by it because that person is not even thinking of me. They're thinking of themselves and they're not in a good place. And I always say this, when somebody is drowning, the worst thing that you can do is step on their head and respond with the same thing that they've just given you, which is anger, which is frustration. Something that I say all the time is those who shout hate are usually looking for help. And the best thing that you can do in a negative situation is be positive. And it's also very difficult to do. It really is. It takes practice. And the default setting to when somebody is nasty to you is to be nasty back. But just pause for a second before you respond. Number 30, knowledge isn't free. You have to pay attention. YouTube, Google, ChatGPT now. You can pretty much get things, information for free. You can figure out how to do anything. I can ask ChatGPT to write me a training program, but ChatGPT can't fucking go to the gym for me yet. I can ask ChatGPT to make me a perfectly planned nutrition plan, but ChatGPT can't cook me the food and feed it to me. You've got to do the fucking work. You've got to pay attention and you've got to apply. Number 31, casinos still play with casino chips because something physical still holds more value than something digital. And that's very hard to comprehend, and it might change in the future. But right now, we very much value more physical things than digital. I value more things that I can see than I have on my computer. And by see, I mean see my family, see my friends, see nature. All of these things that are actually free hold so much more value. Number 32, everything is easier said than done. Whenever I put a piece of content out and telling people different things, I do get a lot of comments that people say, yep, easier said than done. Of course it is. Common sense isn't common practice. That's something that you need to understand. Most of you know what it is that you need to do, but you're not doing it. Knowing and not doing is the same as not knowing. Everything is easier said than done, which is why you need to do it. Number 33, you can have everything you ever wanted and still be unhappy if you don't know how to appreciate it. Learn to appreciate the things that you have. I had the painter and decorator come round a couple of days ago to paint Eliza's room. One, because I can't paint. I can't even put up a picture hook. Outsourcing that stuff because it would take me all day. So much better. Something he said, because he hasn't been around our house since we've had it done. And he said to me as I was walking out the door, he goes, I bet you look back on this house and you just smile. And I almost for a split second didn't say yes. I've done it once or twice, but I've just been so busy. And I just realized how full of shit I am with that. Because the thing that he was saying is if he had the house that we've just spent the last 8 months building, he would look back and smile at it. And it reminded me that I need to do that more because I am proud of the house that we've built. I'm proud of where we are. And actually, I need to be more grateful of the things that we have in our lives because I'm very, very grateful. I'm grateful for lots of things. And one of the things that you need to get better at is understanding that you can have everything that you ever wanted and be unhappy. Number 34, the sexiest thing a person can wear is their confidence. Confidence is such a sexy thing. Confidence in yourself, confidence in your abilities is the sexiest thing you can wear. Number 35, if you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes a sacrifice. Anything in life that you want to achieve will involve you making sacrifices. And if you don't make those sacrifices, you have already defaulted to sacrificing the thing that you want. And that's the reason that people don't have what they want, because they're not willing to make that sacrifice. The key to life is choosing what you will and won't sacrifice. Because there's lots of things that I will sacrifice. I will sacrifice time with friends to work on my business. I will not sacrifice time with my kids. That's why I don't work weekends. That's why I don't like to work evenings. And I'm happy that I've lost opportunities to go and speak on Saturdays with paid talks because I've said no, because I'd rather go down the park and push my kids on the swings, because I'm not willing to sacrifice that, because I only get a small pocket of time in my life to enjoy that thing. There'll always be speaking gigs, there'll always be those things, but there won't be a 3-year-old laughing when I push him on the swing. I'll never get that back. And that's worth more than any money you can imagine. So you've got to understand the things that you're willing to sacrifice for, but also at the same time, the things that you're not willing to sacrifice. 36. Most problems can be solved with a good night's sleep. It's amazing what sleep can do for your body, for your mind. This is why we always say, I'll sleep on it. The amount of problems that I've solved in the morning, I've gone to bed thinking of, I've had a good night's sleep, and then I've come up with the answer when I've woke up. Sleep is the ultimate brain reset. Make sure you're getting enough of it. And if you've got a problem that needs to be solved, firstly, ask yourself, are you getting enough sleep? Because as soon as your sleep goes up, it's a superpower. Number 37, those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. And it's very much about life. You have people who hate on you, who don't understand what it is that you're doing, and it's because they can't hear the music. It's insane when you see people dancing when you don't understand that they're listening to music. And you take that mentality with everything. And it comes back to that quote that I was talking about when it comes to participating. You don't learn things from the sidelines, you learn from participating. You don't get results from the sidelines, you get results from participating. And everything that you do in your life, people are going to look at you like you're fucking mad. People say to me all the time, or used to say to me, you're crazy for doing that. My response to them a lot of that time was, what if I'm not crazy? What if I'm normal and people just need to catch up? And it's a great thing to think about. Number 38, a person who is always deeply immersed in feelings doesn't have control over things. A person who is always in control of things doesn't have time for feelings. Both are fools and unhappy. If you allow feelings to affect your future, you won't get many things done. If you wear your heart on your sleeve and you make all of your life decisions based on your feelings, you're not going to be consistent with things. You're not going to get things done. On the other end of the spectrum, though, if you just apply logic to everything that you do in your life and don't focus on feeling, you will take yourself away from connecting with people. You will take yourself away from how beautiful life is and the emotions that we all feel. If you repress anxiety and overwhelm and don't share those things and just try and solve everything with logic and thinking, you will end up in a very bad place. You will end up as a fool and unhappy. At the same time, on the other end of the spectrum, when you just allow emotions and feelings to deal with your future, you're going to be a fool and very unhappy. The key is in the middle. It is looking at things with logic, but then listening to your gut, sharing your feelings, allowing the normal emotions of anxiety, overwhelm, stress, envy, anger, all of these things that everybody experiences. And sometimes allow it out. Sometimes tell someone to go and fuck off. Sometimes go and tell someone they're a prick. Sometimes it's very much needed, and sometimes it's not. I really, really hope you enjoyed that. I'll catch up with you soon. Adios, amigos.